on this absolutely fantastic Friday that we're having. I'm going to be finishing up what I started yesterday and where the live stream kind of cut out and ended. Just a little bit premature because I was hoping to get through finishing all of those. But I did have a few to catch up on today. The fat carbon did come yesterday. So I've got 4 more knives to finish up. I've got this order, which is a Hawk Nitro V with Snowfire fat carbon. And then I've got an Adventure Junior with some fat carbon 3K twill. And then I've got a Signature Series number 6. It's got G10, black G10, blue dark matter fat carbon, 3 different color G10 spacers, double G10 liners. And then I've also got this other Signature Series. It has got double color liners and spacers, fat carbon, forest eye, and some vintage linen micarta. So we're going to be getting through those 4, and it's going to go relatively quick for a minute, but once I get into contouring the Signature Series handles, it might take me just a minute, and those I plan on spending a little extra time on anyway. But first step is first, and that is to get them all through roughed in. So we're going to start with the 60 grit belt. I'm going to turn the vacuum on, and it's going to get a little noisy, and we'll get started. we got some folks in here. What's up, everybody? I'm Jacob with Very Good Knife Company. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. You've stumbled into me doing some blade work here. I'm just now starting up these 4 that I got delayed on yesterday. Well, I've been delayed on the Signature Series a minute, but here is one of them. This one, I'm going to do some special stuff with the handle once I get it a little closer. It'll be pretty cool. Here's another Signature Series. Nice and roughed in. And then this is an order that I was waiting on that fat carbon for yesterday. This is the Snowfire fat carbon on a Nitro V Hawk. And then this also came in yesterday as well, which is just a 3K twill carbon fiber from Fat Carbon on a Nitro V Adventure Junior. And then yesterday, you guys watched me finish up all of these. Here is a Dark Matter Copper on a Wasp Nitro V. This will be dropping. I was going to drop tonight, but I think I'm going to run out of time. So I think I'm going to just do it tomorrow. Do a Saturday drop again. And I will send out a newsletter. So if you're not subscribed to the newsletter, guys, go to the website. You can go to verygoodknifecode.com and subscribe to our newsletter. These 3 that I've just showed you right here. This is a lava flow fat carbon on a Nitro V Mantis. And then this is fat carbon frost. This is new to me. I've not done any frost yet. It's pretty nice. Just one of those things that I don't know, I didn't think I would want to do it. White is, it can be kind of niche because a lot of people view white the same kind of way, and that is it's going to get dirty. And that's how I view it anyway. So this Snowfire was the first white any of the fat carbons that I did. And I did that a while ago. And I actually just didn't care for it. So I didn't do any more. And the knife that I did that special with, it took a few days to sell, so I kind of just took the hint. And then I did some of the Pines Peak. Now the Pines Peak is the green. It's almost this kind of green. I think I have some actually. But I did get some new fat carbon in to me yesterday that I've not touched yet. And I'll show it to you. Just because. This right here, you can't tell, but this is the Dark Matter Glow. And it is absolutely badass. It's way badass. I wasn't sure about the glow. I know that it's, damn it, quit. So I wasn't sure about the glow, but it really, really glows. And I'll never be able to turn all the lights off and show you, but there's pictures on the Fat Carbon's website. And then this one's new to me as well. This is the Uni Copper. They make this in copper and gold, which is the brass, and copper foil. And it is like a raindrop. It's really awesome. I'm going to do a Signature Series with this. I kind of got something in mind, something I've had in mind for a minute. And when I saw this, I had to just get it. But the glow is for an adventure. It's a custom order. You guys can custom order knives too. Shoot me an email at verygoodknifeco@gmail.com. If you are new here, do me a favor and hit that like button if you like what you see so far. I'm going to be doing some more grinding here. So fear not, I'll get back into the action in just a second. So first I got to grab a 120 grit belt. Get rid of this 220. So, like I said, today we're going to be working on the Signature Series. in those 2 orders that I was waiting on the fat carbon for. And I'll get them all caught up to the rest of these over here, and then we'll sharpen all of them. But for now, I'm going to go with a 120 grit belt, ceramic belt at faster speed, and go ahead and scrub these down, get them a little closer. move up to a 220. Alright, gonna swap to the small wheel. on him. Hey Manny, hey Steven. Who else we got in here? Oh, just a couple. All right, let's turn that vacuum off. Now, I'm gonna take you guys with me because I gotta go to the router. And we're going to cut the radius on these knives here. Now, the Signature Series, I actually go ahead and hand contour on the belt. But to make things a little easier to get super uniform, I like to router them first still. So I'll have to swap the router bit again here in just a second. There is that 3K twill carbon, fat carbon. It looks like just regular old carbon fiber, but man, it's gonna look awesome when it's finished. All right, swap to a quarter round over. All right, let's do this Snowfire and then these Signature Series. We'll go back to the grinder. How cool is that? This thing's really cool. So I'm going to actually go ahead and use a file to cut those grooves out all the way across the handle too, because I think it would look cool. So, how is everybody today? I'm going to be standing here doing some handwork for a minute. Get a chance to talk with some folks. If anybody's got any questions or just wants to talk. Maybe you're like me and don't want to talk at all. Let me grab a file. I don't remember which one it was. All right, I'm back. Oh, I forgot my hand sanding paper. Grab it too. Okay. Now, let's do some cool stuff here. Some really cool stuff. I'm going to take this signature series and transform it into a real signature here. I mean, right now it's pretty unique, but I'm just going to take it up a notch, and I'm going to cut these grooves out and make them go all the way across. Attempt. Nope. Come here. All right. I believe it was the smallest file. It is. It's gotten quiet now, but it'll be so cool. Just you wait and see. Spray it out. All right, about gotten through one. So there's one. You can see it matches. That's pretty cool, isn't it? And I got two more to do. Do all three of them. All three of the ones that are hidden, at least. Get that one up top. All right. Next one back. This file is pretty worn out. I'm gonna have to go and get me a new one. It is not cutting the way I want it to. But it's doing its job, so can't complain. Clean it up. Got a few in here now. one side. All right, there's two. That's cool, cool. That feels really cool too. One more. One more. What you think? Is that boring as hell or is it cool? So there is those grooves. Nice deep jimping that runs into the handle, because why not? Something different, and it feels really cool. That's pretty neat, isn't it? This is going to be a nice one. Alright, I got to clean it up real good, and then I'm going to do a little bit of light contouring on this handle too. This handle and another one. Oh yeah, that looks badass. There we go. It's super shiny in there now too. Damn, it looks cool. I mean, that looks really, really cool. Why haven't I done this sooner? That's pretty badass right there. Now I'm trying to decide if I should like taper them off of the side just slightly, or just leave them like that. I think I just leave them like that because it's pretty clean. All right, I got to hand sand this Hawk and that Adventure Junior That carbon's got to get hand sanded. Zachary might be in here. He might not be. But Zach, you watched your other one get finished up yesterday. This Tradition Junior 80 CRV2 with purple micarta, the burgundy micarta with white liners. That one's Zach's. This was also Zach's. He's in here quite often, so and if he misses it, I know I'll at least go back and see it. So that'll be cool. Got to see your knives made. Ooh, my goodness. I spent all morning, about 3.5 hours on those Signature Series segmented handles. Just getting them close and ready to go. It was a pain in the ass. They're always a pain in the ass. That's why I just don't do a whole lot of them. But they are fun. Fun little pain in the asses. Oh, did she get on? She did. Hey, Josh Miller. Signature sided, yep. Mama's working today. I don't know how good her service is going to be. If she's going to be able to even comment much at all, but she's out at her other job. Has been all week. Hey, baby. How you doing? Woo-wee. Thanks, Josh. So like I was saying, that snow fire kind of has grown on me, but I was definitely not crazy about this stuff to begin with. But on certain things, it has looked pretty good. I think I put it on I want to say it was like a mantis or a wasp, and I could not sell it. Most of the specials, like the fat carbon specials, they're gone before they even get posted. I mean, people are fighting over them. But I sat on that Snowfire for a minute. I just think the white is too niche, and I do think that everybody views it the same way I do, and that is that it's going to get dirty. I will say this. If this white fat carbon gets dirty, you can actually bring the white right back out with a little Scotch-Brite. Finch did. Let's see. What did that say? It is pretty neat. I think just has to be the right knife. For sure. This, I have not seen a Hawkins Snowfire yet. I've only done 2 fat carbon Hawks so far. That one was that blue one, blue dark matter that you guys saw me do last week, I think. And that one was awesome. I think it might still be in the mail. He might have gotten it by now. I actually personalized that one too, which I can do that now that I got the laser. I put his name on it. And he watched the live stream and got to see it too. All right, there's that Snowfire all sanded up. This one's about caught up with the rest now. And this one will be here in just a second. This, ow, That was my finger that just smacked that by. Should have just let it drop. Did. This 3K twill is pretty cool. I've not done anything from Fat Carbon with it yet, but I have used a good bit of carbon fiber, like twill carbon fiber like this. I've used a bunch of it. This is by far the most solid carbon fiber that I've used. A lot of carbon fiber always has somewhere in it that has got either a little void or a soft spot, which is why I try and avoid using the twill fat carbon. But that's what dude wanted, so, and I'm not going to tell him no. But it is my first time using Fat Carbon's twill fat carbon fiber, and it's really nice. I got a 6" by 6" sheet of it, so I'll have enough to do a couple more. I think it'll look cool combined with something else on like a signature series. I think it's kind of boring on its own. I mean, it looks really cool, but you know, I guess opposed to like a black micarta, it's way above that because this stuff shimmers and it's got depth. But you know, if I was going to do a fat carbon, it's got to have some color for me. I want a little color. My favorite fat carbon is Jungle Wear. I really like the Jungle Wear. I think it's one of the best. Stuff is really smooth. There's no fuzzy. A lot of the twill carbon fiber can get fuzzy. Even when you sand it down really smooth, this stuff is really hard and really dense. That's good. That's good quality carbon fiber. I keep saying fat carbon because it's made by Fat Carbon, but I mean, there's about 500,000 other makers of just regular carbon fiber. I'm ready to see it when it's finished though, so I can really judge it. You just can't tell until it's done and you put some oil on it and bring that depth out. You could spray it right now with like a shellac or a some other kind of clear resin, and it would be super, super, super glossy. The sheet actually came covered in a shellac. Most carbon fiber does. And that's the proper finish for a carbon fiber when it's done, is a clear coat. The clear coat also keeps the carbon fiber, like on vehicles, if you're making parts with it, the clear coat keeps it from fraying around the edges as well. Which this stuff should not, because the edges are all completely polished out. All right. Look at my hands again. I know what that means. I'm not taking the camera out this time, so you guys are going to have to give me a second to go wash my hands. Maybe I'll just wash them in the bucket or something. Okay. There's my razor. So this guy is ready to be finished. go. Pretty sweet. Just a bunch of tape glue on it. So this one, I think I'm gonna do some like hard texturing on this, like aggressive texturing. I never do it, so I think I will. But it feels really good. It's gonna be hard to do. Maybe I'll just do some contouring. I don't know. I get so tied up trying to decide what to do with these signature series. It is kind of nest mucky, but it's almost like a spay blade because it doesn't roll, but not quite tradition-y. Yeah, it's a little, I mean, it's somewhat in the middle. It's hollow ground like a tradition, and it's super thin, like super, super thin. Probably 10 thousandths at the edge, maybe 8. It's really thin. This one is actually going to be interesting when it's finished because the edge is only going to come to about here as opposed to all the way back. The edge is going to stop somewhere in here because it's got a big tapered plunge and a long sweeping grind line. It's flat ground. That jimping is really cool. Let's go finish them. And then I'll wash my hands after I hand sand those. It is like a small fighter. That's what I wanted, was like a almost EDC sized fighter, but it turned out quite a bit bigger than what I would consider EDC size. I don't like carrying anything over about 7 3/4 inches. This one is about 10 1/2. But yeah, it's like a little fighter. It's super sweet. Super sweet. Okay. 400 grit. That's a sharpening belt. So is that. Alright, we're just kind of bouncing. So I want to finish these fat carbons first. And get this back. You see the difference between one pass on the Scotch-Brite? See the bright red? Scotch-Brite just cleans it right up. All that's left to do for these is just to shoot them with some oil, which I don't want to do until I've sharpened them, because when I go to sharpen them, if they're oily, all that little fine dust will stick to them, and then they just get scratched. But man, isn't that cool? Okay. I'm actually going to swap you around, because I got to clean up these bevels. And I'm not going to swap the platen or anything. I'm just going to run it. lost my pliers. Okay, maybe I will switch. Go. All right. Caught up. At least with those two. So now I'm gonna drop down to a 120 again, and we're gonna contour those signature series. Get those caught up. think I'm ready to hand sand here. I got a good bit of contouring. Looks like I missed a little bit right there. Anyway, it's pretty contoured, though you can't really tell. You can see with the lines, though, it's quite rounded as opposed to the way it just was. It feels pretty damn good. That is really an awesome knife. This is just fun to me, being able to do something free like this, instead of just a pattern, which doesn't bother me. I quite clearly like doing that work because I chose to do it instead of a bunch of this. Because to tell you the truth, I'll get tired of doing this real quick. In fact, once I'm done with this one, I won't want to do another one for a good minute. I think the combo on this one is Forest Eye Fat Carbon, and then it's vintage linen micarta, the butterscotchy micarta. I wanted kind of like almost a camo look on this knife. It's got gray and green liners, gray and forest green liners. So the liner will be almost blended with the material up in the front section, but then it'll be right up against the vintage in the back, the vintage micarta in the back. So it'll be green on tan in the back here, and then green on green in the front here. They're all glued together. Everything in here is glued together, but then of course screwed on. But the liners are just up underneath. They're in between the handle material and the steel. Just gives it a little depth. It also adds thickness to it as well. It allows me to do a little more contouring. Because when they're too thin, if you contour them, then they're just too thin and contoured. So, I don't want to do that. I think I'm going to keep this guy on, drop the speed down, and I'm going to pull out a J-Flex belt here. So, you guys have only seen me use aluminum oxide X-weight belts. This is aluminum oxide, and it is, actually it might be zirconia. But it is a J-weight, and with belts, the closer you go to Z, the stiffer it gets. So X-weight is going to be super stiff. The J-weight is very super thin and flexible. In fact, there's no way to keep this belt from curling. It just wants to curl up like this. And that's okay because we want it to flex. This is why, I'll show you. So we can take away a whole bunch of hand sanding with that flexible belt, and you can see how it has really gotten up in there super smooth. Can't do that with a rigid belt because it'll leave lines everywhere. That's pretty close. I think I'll hand sand it in the rest of the way. Alright, now we can hand sand these the rest of the way. That's nice and smooth then. It's really close. We'll go ahead and let's go ahead and hand sand those then. And then we're ready to finish those two up. All of them will be caught up, and then we can sharpen them. And that'll be a wrap. All I got left to do is sheaths after that. Be nice to finish on a Friday. Maybe I'll be able to get finished with that this Friday. Because I've been working weekends for a long time now. It's been a while. We haven't had a weekend off in quite a while. Just the way it is. It be like that sometimes. Faces of these handles are all weird. They're just different shape. They're not square like everything else. It'll take me a second to get tape on it. Make sure I don't end up with scratches all over the blade. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. Let's get them blended the rest of the way. I use a piece of this used 220 paper to try and take it just a smidge slower. See where we're at. Sometimes when you do these contouring, you'll miss spots because there's so many different angles that you'll end up going over, and it's real easy to miss some spots, but I don't think I missed any on this go around. Just a little in the center. More of that deceiving G10, because man, that stuff is hard to tell sometimes. So another reason why I'm not fond of working with it. I like the way it feels and it looks great. It's probably got some of the best color out of most composites on the market. But it can be a little finicky sometimes. And there's a lot of people that disagree with that. But in my opinion, it's a pain in the ass to work with. G10, like the fat carbon and all the other carbon composites that I use, it ruins everything. It ruins the bandsaw blades. It ruins router bits and drills. The fiberglass and the carbon sheets are what are responsible for that. Which is why I use mostly micarta. All right, I want to say that one is good to go. I'm gonna gently sand these corners down because I don't want to take away the crisp lines, but I don't want them sharp either. So just be gentle. So, in case you were wondering, these knives, let's see. In case you were wondering, these knives are dropping, this particular one, anybody new that's in here, this one and the other signature series that I'm working on, plus all the little fat carbon specials will be dropping tomorrow. That's exactly right, Steve. That's 100% how I view it. If I'm going to use something that ruins all my bits, it's going to be nicer than damn G10. That's for sure. Because G10 is just not special to me at all. But it's different than what I usually use, and I do like it a lot. I think it has the best color out of all the other composites. G10 is the easiest to color. Micarta can be sometimes faded, or just, not really super consistent on color between sheet to sheet. Like the blue, sometimes the blue looks like this. Sometimes it has a little bit more of a greenish tint to it. G10's never changes. G10 is always consistently the same color. But yeah, if you're going to use something that chews up all your bits and is a pain in the ass to work with, why not make it something nicer than G10? And fat carbon is a huge step up from G10. Alright, so these little areas like this, see that little area right there? Those are easy to get scratches on. And they're almost impossible to get scratches off of. So that's what I'm trying to get covered up right here, is those little micro areas. Just like that. And I don't mind if any of this gets scratched up, because all that's going back to the belt when we get done. This one might need a little extra attention because it's got those little grooves that we're going to have to get down in. Still going to use some used 220. Take it a little slow. So these were supposed to be done like 2.5 weeks ago, these signature series, and be honest, half of the battle with these is figuring out what I'm going to put on them, because I've done the whole just grab and go and deal with it later, and then sometimes you're like, oh my god, why did I do that? That is hideous. And I'm a little OCD, so it's gotta be right. I don't know. Maybe that has nothing to do with it, OCD. But it takes me a while to really nail down what exactly I want to use. Most of the time, I care a little too much what it's going to look like, I guess. I just need to get it over with and get it done. Most of the time, I'm just too worried about it. Damn, this thing's cool. I'm ready to get this one finished up so you guys can see what it looks like with it all oiled and dressed up. A little notch there. I think this one I'll do number 7 because I did this one after. And this one will be number 6. Marking anyway. There's probably a couple of you in here like, what the hell is this dude talking about? Just mesmerized with me working, I guess. Doing satisfying things like sanding to finish. It's like ASMR, I guess, huh? I'm gonna work on this top side. Just a little over here. Just a gentle sanding around the face because I like the way it looks right now. And I don't really want to change any of the nice crisp corners. I just want to make them not sharp. It's turned out exactly like I was hoping it would so far. That's all I can ask for, I reckon. Excuse me. I had Taco Bell last night. Still tasting it. Oh yeah. This is looking fine. Looking fancy. There goes the air compressor. Check that out. It's gonna look better when I get it cleaned. So I gotta wash my hands first. And I don't have a whole lot of you in here. So I'm just gonna leave you. And I will come right back once I get done. Let me cut all this tape off first. Once I start cleaning all these with the Scotch-Brite, I don't want to be touching them too much. And oh man, that's going to be a nice pair. These are cool. This one's got the front of the faces, the handle faces right here. That point matches the grind on both sides. It's pretty cool. That's how I wanted it to line up. It lined up just like I asked of it. Can't complain about that. This one has got blue and white liners. And then I added one more color in the center, and it's kind of hard to tell. It's going to be hard to tell until I get it cleaned up. It's kind of look just like a thicker white. It's actually white and then a Tiffany blue, like a turquoise. So it goes blue, turquoise, a thinner turquoise, and then an even thinner white steps down. It's pretty neat. It's going to be really nice when it's finished. All right, so people are dropping off. It'll pick back up when I get back on the grinder, I reckon. Hey, Chad, how you doing? All right, so tell you what, I'll put you guys on the knives here so you can look at all the knives. I need a good pipe today. I haven't had a pipe in a minute. All right, I gotta go wash my hands. Let me go wash my hands right quick. I'll be right back. Give me just a couple minutes. Alright, I'm back. Well, I'm sure most of it done gone. Probably nobody in here now. Fear not, the action will continue. Alrighty, peeps. For anyone that might still be in here, I had to go wash my hands. They were completely black. Let's make sure that I'm not missing anything in here. Alright, so we just got through hand sanding the Signature Series, and my hands are clean and ready to finish these out. Once I get these two caught up, all I got to do is run the 400 grit and Scotch-Brite over them. And once I get these caught up, we'll go ahead and sharpen every one of these knives. So, let's get to it. Yeet. Get rid of that J-Flex belt and put back on a 400. Where did my last one go? See, I've got a whole bunch of used belts and I pile them up until I just can't stand it anymore. And then I move them over to my belt pile right there. And when I get good and ready, I take them all to the dump. Used to have a dumpster, big green dumpster at the last place. Don't have that here. Okay, grab a mask and let's finish these. Scotch-Brite. I'm going to go back to the 400 on this. I did see a couple little scratches on the Corby screws that I missed. Sometimes I get myself in a little bit of a pickle doing all these super cool contouring, which is why I just don't do a whole lot of contouring. That's why I don't do any contouring, honestly. I'm trying to get these scratches off of this Corby screw, and they're just being a bear because it's in a weird spot and it's got weird contouring. So I'm going to swap back that J-Flex for just a second. Then I'm going to go back over, grab a piece of sandpaper, try and get some of them out. My switch turned off. All right. So I need me some 400 and 600 grit J-weight belts, don't I? All right, I'm gonna skip the 220, and I'm gonna go, I've got some 400 here. Maybe, might be my 400 grit paper. Okay, I guess we're skipping the 400. We're just gonna go right to 600 then. This is close enough to 400 and do about the same thing. So when you take it up higher, now you'll be able to see all your issues. And you can see those, well, maybe you can't see it. See the little micro scratches that I'm trying to get rid of there? I'm going to go back to the 220 grit, try and turn them another direction. Do this without getting my hands completely filthy again. So what I'm trying to do is get the scratches from going this way to this way, because everything else is running this way. And I don't want to see any scratches of any kind going perpendicular to everything else. That's what I'm going for right there. But it's a 220 finish right there now, not 400 like I want. It's pretty close. Not quite. Close only counts. Horseshoes and hand grenades. It's got to be done. Not close. All right, now let's try that 600. Let's see what it looks like now. There we go. See that? Nice and bright. No perpendicular scratches. They all run lengthways with the knife. That's what we want. All right. There we have it. Solve that problem. they were just a minute ago. That's it right there. Now, we'll jump back to the small wheel because I can't get into that curve to Scotch-Brite it with the big wheel. What's up, buddy?
Well, come back here.
Yeah. All right. Too slow. A little faster. There's that. Alright, that's all for the small wheel. We'll run back to the big wheel. Finish it up. And then we'll sharpen it. Don't think that I got the pommel of that green one with the 400. Let's check. No, I did not. bevel's looking good.